Hey everyone, welcome. So, if you've ever stood in a coffee shop, you know that feeling, right? Looking at the menu, maybe wandering down a tea aisle, and just feeling totally overwhelmed by this huge, vibrant world of Japanese green teas. Well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're doing a full explainer to demystify this whole fascinating subject. We're going to literally trace the journey these leaves take, all the way from those lush green farms right into your cup. Okay, let's dive into this. The big question, are matcha and green tea completely different things? I mean, so many of us naturally assume that because matcha is this bright neon green powder and regular green tea looks like, dried, twisted leaves, that they must come from entirely different botanical families altogether, right? Well, let's challenge those preconceived notions. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll establish exactly how matcha fits into the green tea family. Second, we're looking at cultivation and manufacturing differences. Third, taste and nutrition. Fourth, spotting the powdered tea imposter. And finally, the absolute best ways to enjoy these teas. All right, moving into section 1. Matcha is green tea. So green tea is actually a really broad, general term. It basically refers to unfermented tea, where the fresh leaves are immediately heat treated, usually by steaming them right after they're picked. Now that word right there, unfermented, is absolutely crucial. By hitting the brakes on the oxidation process immediately with heat, the tea holds on to that signature green color and that super fresh, vibrant flavor. And this brilliantly illustrates the concept. Think of green tea as the broad, overarching category, just like the word fruit. Matcha, on the other hand, is a specific type of green tea within that larger category, kind of like how an apple is a specific type of fruit. So sencha, gyokuro, and matcha are essentially all just different apples sitting in the big green tea fruit bowl. Okay, section 2, cultivation and manufacturing differences. Now, it all begins with how the tea is actually grown. Standard green tea, like your everyday sencha, uses open field cultivation. It's just sitting out there in the glorious full sun. And this intense sun exposure actually increases these things called astringent catechins in the leaf, which is exactly what gives sencha that crisp, refreshing bite. But in contrast, matcha undergoes covered cultivation. For about 20 to 30 days right before harvest, the plants are completely shaded from the sun. This shading process suppresses those bitter catechins and wildly boosts a sweet umami amino acid called theanine, all while forcing the plant to pump out vibrant green chlorophyll. It's basically a flavor factory. Once harvested, sencha goes through 3 key steps. Step 1, the leaves are steamed to stop that fermentation. Step 2, they're actively kneaded while drying. Now this is vital because it intentionally breaks down the cellular tissue of the leaf, which means the flavors are going to extract super easily when hot water hits them in your cup. And finally, step 3 is fully drying the leaves for preservation. Now, matcha manufacturing offers a really sharp contrast here. Step 1 is the exact same, steaming. But step 2, radically different. The leaves for matcha are never kneaded, not at all. Instead, they're dried flat and whole, becoming what's known in the biz as tencha. After the stems and veins are meticulously removed, those pure flat flakes are slowly ground in a traditional stone mill, and I mean incredibly slowly, just so the friction heat doesn't compromise that delicate, beautiful flavor. Moving right along to section 3, taste and nutritional components. Now, what's really interesting about this is how those farming differences create a stark contrast in flavor. Sencha, grown out in the bright sun, gives you a super refreshing, astringent, and crisp flavor. But matcha, thanks to being shade-grown and stone-ground, delivers this rich umami, profound sweetness, and a totally unique shaded aroma known as wika. This wika is a fascinating, almost sweet, seaweed-like fragrance that is entirely created by that 20 to 30 days of shading before the harvest. It's like magic in a leaf. And the nutritional differences, they are just as impressive. With brewed sencha, you're really only extracting the water-soluble components into your cup, like vitamin C and theanine. The insoluble nutrients, well, they remain trapped inside the leaves, which, let's be honest, usually just get thrown away. But because matcha is a micropowder, you are drinking the entire ground leaf. That means you're absorbing incredible insoluble nutrients like vitamin E, dietary fiber, and beta-carotene. It is a literal nutritional powerhouse. All right, on to section 4, matcha and powdered green tea. So the crucial point here is this. Just because it's a green powder absolutely does not mean it is matcha. This is a huge mix-up. Powdered green tea is simply regular, sun-grown sencha that's been put through a grinder. True matcha uses that shade-grown tencha we talked about, which gives it that vibrant, deep green color and sweet umami flavor. Powdered green tea, it's going to yield a more yellowish or muted green color and a crisp, astringent flavor. So for sure, do not let a generic label fool you at the store. And our final section, Section 5, Ways to Enjoy Tea. Have you ever wondered why bakers absolutely adore using matcha? Well, that vibrant, shade-grown green adds stunning visual appeal without any need for artificial dyes. Plus, that deep umami perfectly balances out the heavy sweetness you get in desserts, while the natural bitterness provides a really sophisticated depth to things like chocolates and creams. And on top of all that, it actually retains its fantastic nutritional profile even when it's baked into treats. It's a total win-win. Let's move to and see how this builds, because understanding these teas really empowers you to pick the exact right one for your mood. For everyday moments, like a quick afternoon pick-me-up or just basic hydration with a casual meal, sencha or your standard powdered green tea is absolutely perfect. It's refreshing and clears the palate. But for those special treats, like when you want to craft a luxurious, frothy latte, do some high-end baking, or just take a mindful, meditative pause in your busy day, matcha is your ultimate companion. We have covered an incredible journey in this explainer today, literally from a sun-drenched field or a shaded farm all the way to a finely milled powder. So knowing all this, what does this mean for your daily routine? Which green tea will you choose for your next break? Are you going to go for the crisp, everyday refreshment of sencha or the rich, whole-leaf luxury of matcha? Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep exploring, and enjoy every single sip.